Do you know deep down there's so much more to you and to this physical existence than you could even imagine? But perhaps you get stuck in overwhelm and the truly devastating crises of these times, making it so hard to live and contribute to the world as fully as you want to? What if I said this event could offer you powerful teachings and aha moments that could truly shift your beliefs and the course of your life so that you could align more fully with your true radiant self? I can say this has been true for me, and I give thanks to all the opportunities I've had over many years immersed in these powerful wisdoms that have truly transformed me and allowed me to become who I am today. And I want to share this opportunity with you. My name is Erica Mers, and this event is born out of my passion to support spiritually minded changemakers, healers, artists, and leaders like yourself to remember the energetic power we all possess so that you can show up, we can all show up more powerfully for much needed change in the world. So in this free event, you can learn from over 20 awe-inspiring, super experienced and diverse guest speakers. We're all bringing together these spiritual wisdoms, the embodied healing practices, the power of art, and some radical visioning and strategizing for collective liberation. Throughout this convergence, we'll be inviting you to go inward, to breathe and sense deeply, to stretch your mind, get radically real, and you'll even get a chance to cathartically dance your healing prayers. So be sure to sign up, check it out. All the information is there. And invite people who could benefit from this, because we truly need access to these wisdoms in these times. I truly don't know how else we can make it through and survive as a humanity, as spiritual beings in this plane. And it's so important that we can get access to these knowledge that have been so oppressed by so many years and generations of colonization and white supremacy culture. So please check out this opportunity. I really hope you will take it to heart and join in and share with your friends as well. Many, many, many blessings to you. Mwah.
Shamanism, as I told you, it's about also being able to have a skill to travel between the dimensions and being able to easily shift from one to another, not being lost in one dimension. So we see the whole world as the whole universe as the three worlds: lower, middle, and the higher. The higher world is about the gratitude, and we call that machtal. Middle world is the physical world, and it's about the love, taptal, and lower world is about fear, kuttal. And if in shamanism, if you close your eyes, you are in your inner world. And in inner world has the same three worlds, the same three spots, and you can find it in your physical body.
So first of all, one has to be sensitive enough to know that there is an energy that's moving. It's got to be a felt sense. Many of us are so in our head that we don't even know we have a body, and we don't even know that the body has its own consciousness and is sending signals to you. There is the sense that the body is just a machine and it has to do what we tell it to do. And what this dance reminds you is about the incredible entity and being that the body itself is, and that it's a privilege that it's your partner, and it gives you these experiences.
We have all these ritual processes that we do on the dance floor that I do, but for me, the most essential thing is that I love myself and I allow myself to feel my feelings, and then I'm so much less judgmental about everybody else in the world, right? The most judgmental people, just remember this, are judging themselves so harshly, and that's why they judge everybody else, right? So it's a real, everything internally is just externally being shown to us. Mm-hmm. So all your stuff comes up on the dance floor. When you're in the process, you're like, oh wow, I'm judging myself right now for feeling anger, for feeling shame, or for feeling grief, or for feeling guilt or blame or whatever it is. And then we come into peace with that somehow through the transformation stage by really, it's heavily active. And then we go into celebration because we made it through that tunnel. I call it the tunnel of transformation. So we made it through the tunnel. Now we're in celebration. We're in empowerment. We're getting our joy back because we are innately joyous, right?
So one of the elements is our childhood experience. So for me, it was that I didn't feel like anybody knew me or cared about me, because if they don't care about me enough to know me, then I'm out in the cold. And so especially for a child, but for adults too, we need to be included in community. We need to know that we're going to be protected, and not just food and shelter, which I was fortunate to have, but we also need to have the guidance. But often our parents are addicted or depressed or really stressed, and they're not able to give us what we need. They're not able to parent us in a way that's optimal for our nervous system. So that's something that we can do now. We can reparent ourselves, or, with parenting, we need co-regulation with someone with a really well-regulated nervous system. So a child doesn't have the brain capacity to figure that out on their own. They co-regulate with the adults around them. So it might be a teacher or an auntie or uncle, or it might be a grandparent or something. But we need to have that sense of connection, like someone's going to notice and care if I'm not here or if I'm not happy. If we haven't had that experience, we have to figure out a way to develop that ourselves. So the inquiry, the somatic inquiry that we do, is based on loving ourselves, really.
We're here to be whole. We're here to express ourselves. And so shadow, like the repressed and exiled aspects of us, will make themselves known in our lives. And they do. And they do this through our dysfunctional relationships. They do this through our addictions, through depression, through anxiety, through our lack of motivation in life, or our inability to identify who we are and what we want.
Because movement is an incredibly powerful way to move stuck energy through your system, and particularly trauma. It's a great way to move it through your system that's gentle without having to relive the trauma. So what we've just done then is we've turned our energy system back on. Now you can duck to the bathroom and do this, or if you're not concerned, you can just sit at your desk and do it, or you can go out for lunch and do it. But you'll find that when we are triggered, the nervous system switches off and our animal brain comes forward and we can't think. This will switch our brain back on. It energizes us and gets the energy flowing. So you'll realize that you really quickly drop back into, oh, okay, I'm ready. And you go back into the day.
So this part is constantly preparing us for disaster. And when you're in that phase, which usually you'll know because you're feeling anxiety or fear or frustration or anger or jealousy or envy or all those kinds of things, which are not getting you anywhere. But when you're in that phase, it's a stress phase. It shuts off the higher part of your mind, the part of your mind that can analyze and strategize, the part of your mind that can plan, can make a plan and stick to that plan, the part of you that can open to your internal wisdom, the part of you that can open to your spiritual guidance is not available to you. And so the most important thing, if you had to learn one thing, it would be how to be in the present moment. Because every anxiety, every fear, every resentment, it's not here and now. It has to do with some vague point in the future or the past. That's what you're worried about. It's not here and now.
We've forgotten what it feels like to be deeply spiritually fulfilled. We make fun of the things in our world that are designed to fulfill us. We ignore those things, or we try to substitute titillation and entertainment for this deep experience of one's own roots. Sorry, I wanted to go back to one of the other things that you said, that we have many problems in the world. We don't. We got one problem. And that one problem may have 50 or 100 or even 1,000 different presenting symptoms. But until we fix the one problem, you can work with the presenting symptoms. You could put the Band-Aid on the cancer, but it doesn't affect the cancer. That one problem that we have is the problem of consciousness.
With science, which is one outcome of that way of thinking, we've achieved enormous, incredible things. There's no question about it. However, one of the casualties of that is the loss of connection with ourselves, with each other, and nature. And I think that is both the problem that we suffer now, where over centuries we went from a place where we felt very tied into everything. We were a part of something. Where now people are young people are having suicidal ideation in an increasing number because they feel like nothing matters. It's a useless universe. Now, why do anything, right? And there's a disconnection from everything and family and all that. We can go. People have, this is I would say a civilization issue where we don't connect.
In this modern age of people just living in isolation, like the biggest problem I found in people's lives is that they're lonely. I mean, I can't say this across the board, but it's hard. What is depression and anxiety? It's like, we don't have anybody who's got our back. We are not doing things with other people, where like, wasn't that long ago where like, if you were going to get food, you would get together with like 9 of your relatives and go figure out how to go get food. And if you were gonna, at the end of the day, we'd all be sitting around a fire, playing music and singing and dancing. And so like, I found that like across the world, it was something that people were lacking, was this connection, was this like tribal feeling of someone that I can rely on and that we are going to get through this together, And when you have that, it just makes life a whole lot easier. And I noticed that when we do gatherings, when we do these events, music gatherings and stuff, it's like people just get it like right away. It's like they feel it. This is just right. They're excited. They're excited to see their friends. They're excited to see their chosen tribe, their chosen family.
But I'm looking and I'm listening and I'm paying attention and I'm integrating what I learn as I go, and I'm doing my best to mitigate the harm that I'm doing. I'm inviting repair when possible. I'm learning what other people's experiences are outside of my own. And I'm continuing to check in that dance between what's real inside of me, what's real around me. What does my body need? What do the bodies of these other people in this space, human and more than human, need? And how do I be in healthy relationship intrapersonally inside of myself and with the other people that I'm engaging in relationship with? And in my art, both the painting and the poetry, the essence is that inquiry of where do liberation, embodiment, and creativity meet, and how do we inspire others to be as authentic and freely expressed as possible. Because so often the distraction, what we'll call a creative block of one kind or another, is based in fear. And it will look like, oh, I'm just going to watch this YouTube video, or I'm just going to wash my cat right now, or whatever. I'm just going to do this other task, or, oh, I'll get to that tomorrow. But it's actually, I'm afraid of the transformation I'm going to need to go through to actually create the art that wants to come through me.